everybody, welcome to Stamping with Melva. I'm Melva Peters and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in British Columbia, Canada. And you can find me online at stampingwithmelva.com. Happy New Year. It is my first video of 2024. And I wanted to share with you a technique for using the new brayer. I'm so excited that the brayer's back in the upcoming January to April mini catalog. I love the brayering, and this is a great way. I've showed this technique before where you use your ink pad to ink up a embossing folder and then run it through and color the images. But the brayer just makes it so much easier, so you're not kind of messing with your ink pad on your embossing folder. So let me switch over and I'm going to show you the brayering technique using the new Adorning Hearts bundle. All right. So this bundle, oops, let's get the focus. It seems to go out of focus. This bundle will be available. Hopefully it'll come back into focus. I'll just keep moving and it'll eventually kind of come back into focus. So this bundle is called Adoring Hearts, and it is a bundle that will be available in the upcoming mini catalog as of Thursday, January 4th. So it is a hybrid embossing folder bundle. So you have this beautiful stamp set that has all sorts of great sentiments, just for you. Can be used for a wedding, could be used for Valentine's Day, it could be used for just because. And then these great dies. I'll show you what this one does. This one actually is the one that combines or coordinates with the embossing folder. And then you have all these other hearts that you can, just cut out shapes on the hearts, which are really pretty as well. A nice banner that coordinates with the Just For You. But this is the embossing folder. So you can use it just as an embossing folder, or you can use it by putting this die into it and cutting out these beautiful hearts. And I have, where's my thing? I have some. When I cut them out, I always keep them. So these are some of the hearts that I've cut out, and I've just cut them out of the Coordinating Designer Series paper. This paper is one of the celebration items. And so I'm using it again today with this because it goes so well with this bundle. So these are the cut out and embossed hearts that you get. Okay. So today I'm going to do some brayering instead of just doing some regular old embossing. So let's get things out of the way. So the first thing I've got my card stock here cut, and I realized, there we go, that's good. I'm going to need another piece here in a minute because I've realized I forgot a piece for the sentiment, but we'll get that. So what you want to do is I've got a piece of very vanilla cardstock, so that's all ready to go. And I've got my brayer. So this is the new brayer. You want to make sure, the first time I used it, I couldn't figure out why I couldn't ink up my brayer. And it's got two little metal pieces that connect the brayer. And it's actually the stand. So when you set it down, the brayer will sit without touching your glass mat or your grid pad or whatever you're using. So when you ink it up, you want to make sure that those two points or pieces are pointed upwards. Otherwise, one, you can't ink up, and two, it just doesn't work very well. So I've got some real red. It's got some stuff on it. So I'm going to just run my brayer over my ink pad, ink up my brayer. So now I've got it inked up, and then take your embossing folder and you want to be inking up the side that has the Stampin' Up! Logo on it. So I'm just going to take my brayer, and I'm only going to do this outside row because I don't have a big enough piece. You need a 6x6 piece of cardstock. So I've just run my brayer over these images, and you can see the red ink has transferred. So then you can take and put this die into, and it just kind of, I won't say it clips in place, but is this the right size? This is the right one. It just kind of, you can feel it kind of fit right in place. And then you can take your cardstock and put over top of it and close it. Now I'm going to gently bring in my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. Now this is a hybrid embossing folder, so you need the platform number 1, then your embossing folder, and then your plate number 4, the gray plate, and run this through. Down. Now you see I've got I have one of the new glass mats. So these glass mats are available for one of the options if you decide to sign up during celebration. They are amazing because look at this. I can just take and wipe that with a baby wipe. Now I can also, look at these. Aren't they fun? Now I can just take those. Probably not going to use all of them. And you can just take a baby wipe and wipe off your embossing folder. Get that ink off there. Like that. And cleanup is so easy. All right, there we go. Look at this piece. This is a really fun piece that you can save because it is not only embossed, these are raised hearts, but they're colored with red because I, of course, inked over them. So I will put those into my stamp case. Now, I have a piece of real red, and I just have to grab another piece of Very Vanilla. Because, of course, I need to stamp my sentiment. All right, I have a piece of real red that is 4 1/4 by 11. And we're going to score this at 5 1/2. I'm going to close my ink up so I don't get it all over the place. Okay, so scored it at 5 1/2, and I'm going to grab my bone folder and fold, as always, into the mountain and use my bone folder to give it a good burnish. Then I cut a piece. This is the distressed gold specialty paper. So this was cut 4 inches by 5 1/4. And before I adhere that down, I'm going to, out of the middle, cut this piece, this banner out, because I'm going to use the same banner for my sentiment. And why waste this? So we'll cut the banner. This is going to be kind of the matte layer for my banner out of the middle. You won't know that this is cut out of the middle because this is going to be, I have designer series paper to adhere over top. So that's like that. All right. So nobody will know that I've cut that out of the middle. All right. So this piece is going to go on like this. And then this is one of the pieces of the beautiful paper. And I have forgotten what the name of it is. It is in the celebration brochure. So this is the celebration brochure. And it is called Most Adored Designer Series paper. It's 12 by 12, and it coordinates lovely with this Adoring Hearts suite or bundle. All right, so I'm going to adhere my red designer series paper to that distressed gold, and then that pop of gold just is so lovely, like that. All right, and so now I have these pretty gold, red embossed hearts, and you can use as many of them as you want. Which one's this one's better? I think I'm just going to use 3. So I'm going to put those on with dimensionals. You can, one of the really cool things, if you haven't played with the gold leafing, it's lovely. I made a card that I'll share coming up where I've used gold leafing on top of these with a little bit of the heat and stick powder for some arc, and then a little bit of heat and stick powder, and then just put some gold leafing on top, and it just makes these hearts just pop. Okay, those parts I'm going to save for another time. But I'm going to stamp a sentiment using Real Red. So I'm going to stamp the Just For You sentiment because it fits perfectly in that banner shape that I cut out already. So we'll stamp that, stick that in Real Red. So you can see this doesn't have to be just for Valentine's Day. So now I'm going to cut this out. Probably what I should have done. Hopefully I'm going to get it in the middle. I probably should have cut it out first and then stamped. Sometimes it's kind of hard to see, so we'll hope we get it in the middle. If we don't, we'll cut another one or turn it over and stamp it so it's more centered. Fingers crossed that it's not too out of whack. Huh, pretty good actually. Huh. Sometimes I surprise myself. All right, so there's that. Now, these are the same size, so I'm actually going to cut this gold one in half, and then I'm going to put a little bit of glue on each end of this and adhere it so that I have just a little bit of a mat on each end. A little bit of a mat. There we go. You can use dimensionals if you want. I'm going to pop this up with dimensionals, but for now I'm just going to adhere those flat. Trying to get it straight on there. There we go. So now it looks like I have a gold mat underneath. Now these are just going to fit. So I'm going to put these on with dimensionals. And if it bothers you that you can see a little bit of that gold, just take your paper snips and just kind of trim around it. And then we'll put this Just For You down here at the bottom. There we go. Now let's do something on the inside. So I'm going to take one of these hearts because they're just so pretty, and I'm going to glue it down flat for the inside so that I always like to have something on the inside of my card. I could have stamped, but since I had those hearts, so there we go. So this piece of Very Vanilla was 4 inches by 5 1/4, and that goes on the inside. I'm not sure if I told you the measurements. So the gold piece was 4 inches by 5 1/4, and then this piece of Designer Series paper was 3 3/4 by 5. Okay, so let's add some embellishments. Now these are the iridescent gold, they called iridescent foil gems, and they come in 2 sizes. So they're kind of clear with a little bit of gold foil in them. 2 sizes. So let's use those. They're just so pretty, and they go so nicely with this since I've got the gold on it. That. Get another one. Come on. Oops, there it is on my finger. Oh, there we go. One of the little glue dots underneath it has fallen off. All right, so there is my card using my new brayer to color my hearts that I have done. And then don't forget to save this piece because this will be really pretty as a background like that. So we'll save that and you can make it on another card. All right, so if you love to use a brayer like I do, or you love to color your embossing folders, the brayer is a perfect tool for that technique. If you have any questions about this card or any other cards that I've shared, just leave me a comment on my blog or on the video, and I'd be happy to answer your questions for you. All right, everybody, thanks for joining me today. Hope you have a great day and happy stamping. Bye.